Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be playing a very special TBR game. So this is an idea that I had quite a while ago, but only recently have made the time to put it into action, but I think this is going to be really fun. The idea behind this is using a random number generator to pick books or possible choices for my July TBR. I started filming this video about 3 weeks ago whenever I first went through this process to pick those 3 books, which we will cut over to that footage in just a moment. After I filmed that, of course, came the long wait of those books to arrive. They have finally come in the mail, and I am going to do a read a chapter challenge to pick my final selection for the book that will be added to my July TBR. Before we can do that, let's watch the footage of me narrowing it down to these 3 books. So check it out. All right, time to pick some books. So I have 2 windows open here. One of the windows is bookoutlet.com, my favorite place to buy cheap outlet books. And then a second window I have over here is for the random number generator on Google. How this is going to work is that I'm going to draw 3 books in varying degrees of comfort level. So the first book will be a sci-fi novel, the second book will be a literary fiction novel, and then the third book will be just all of the adult fiction books at large, so it could be of any genre. I'm just gonna kind of whatever comes up, I'm going to put it in my cart and I'm going to buy it. So that is the plan. So let's just jump right in and draw some books. So first up, I'm going to click on books here, go to adult fiction. And then whenever I go to subject, first of all, like I said, I'm going to pick a sci-fi book. So click on sci-fi and it looks like there is a grand total of 817 books in the sci-fi section. I'm going to leave this at 24 books per page, and you'll see why here in a second. So how this is going to work, I'm going to pick I'm going to randomly generate 2 numbers. The first number that I generate is going to be what page the book is on, and then the second number that I generate will be which book on that page is the final selection. So let's go over here, back over to my random number generator and put in 1 through 35, since there are 35 pages for sci-fi. So we have 1 through 10 right now, put in 35. And then I'm going to hit generate 3 times. On the third time, that is the number I'm going to go with. So let's go. 1, 2, and 3. I got the number 7. So let's come down here to the bottom, go to 7. All right, and then I just kind of want to scroll through here to see what all is on this page. I own a couple of these, but these by and large are not books that I have read or own. All right, so that's good. All right, so let's go back over to the random number generator. So we have 24 books on this one page, so I'll put in 24. Hit generate 3 times on the third one. That is the number. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. So book number 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second row, 5, 6, 7, 8. Battle of the Linguist Mages. I've never heard of this, by Scotto Moore. This is kind of interesting looking to me, though. What is this about? In modern-day Los Angeles, a shadowy faction led by the governor of California develops the arcane art of combat linguistics. Okay, so this definitely sounds like pretty high action and interesting enough, I guess. It's also a hardcover for $6.99, which I think is a great deal. So I am good with that. Let's go ahead and add it to our cart. All right, so let's go back to adult fiction here and go by subject. This time, second draw, like I said, is going to be a literary novel. Make sure, yeah, sci-fi is deselected. All right, so we've got a grand total of 1,940 books across 81 pages. So we'll head back over to the generator, put in 1 through 81, and I'm going to hit generate 3 times. Third time is the number. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So we're on page 6. All right. Let's look through here. Am I familiar with any of these? I've heard of Ordinary People and The Reader. They made that into like a movie a while back, I think. I own Death in Her Hands. Ooh, I like the cover for The Other Side of Night. That's kind of cool. I've heard of Devil House. And I've seen this Jodi Picoult, however you say it. I've seen this one before. I've heard of The Other Black Girl and Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones. So that's the extent of my familiarity with all of these books. So that's awesome. I think this is a good group to pick from. All right, so we have 24 books per page. So let's go back over to the generator, 1 through 24. Hit generate 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So the third book, which is going to be John Knowles, A Separate Piece. Oh my God. Seriously? Oh, okay. No, this is only 204. For some reason, I was thinking this was like a 1,000-page book. Yeah, I'd heard of this before. I know this is a classic, so that's cool. I'm definitely interested to read more classics, and that's an unusually appealing synopsis to me. Yeah, all right, so let's go on ahead and add that one to our cart. Also, hardcover for $6.99. What a deal. All right, and then on to our third and final pick. I am going to go to books, adult fiction, and this is all adult fiction, which is over 13,000 books. So let's just dig right into this. It looks like there are 550 pages. So we will put 1 through 550 over on our generator, and here we go. 1, 2, and 3. So we're on page 30. All right, and let's look through here. I've read Anne of Green Gables. I think I have Goblin on my TBR, so that would be cool if I drew Goblin. I've heard, no, I haven't heard of that Colson Whitehead book. That I'm wrong. Obviously I've heard of Little Women. The Phantom of the Opera I've heard of. And that's it. Okay. All right. 1 through 24. Here we go. And 3. So book number 21. So let's just count backwards since it's a high number. 24, 23, 22, and 21. Little Disasters by Randall Klein. Hardcover for $2.99. Oh, this must be a great book. $2.99 hardcover. Well, let's see here. What is this about? It was the exhilaration of new parenthood that first united Michael and Paul outside the Brooklyn hospital where I'm not going to read any more than this. This sounds like that's pretty intriguing to me, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now and add it to my cart. Yeah, so I think that is it. Why do I have 4 books in my cart? I didn't put, I don't know what that's about. I'm going to remove that. So we've got Battle of the Linguist Mages, A Separate Piece, and Little Disasters. So not bad. All right, let's go on ahead and head over to checkout. And then after these get here, I will check back in with you. We'll do the read a chapter challenge and see what will be added to the TBR in July. All right, so it has been about 3 weeks of waiting since I filmed that clip, which these books actually came more recently than that, but I've been out of town and just unable to complete this footage. But they are here now, and I am super excited. Here is the box. Something tells me that this box may contain some awesome books. We'll see. Let's go on ahead and open this up. Oh my gosh. I actually added more books to this than I selected in that video. I just continued shopping after I quit filming and completely forgot about it. I'm not going to show you those books. Next time I do a haul, of course, I will show you those books. But for now, I'm going to set those extra selections aside. And then let's talk about the books that I'm going to be reading for this challenge. So first, we have A Separate Piece by John Knowles. I don't think this is the same edition that I recall from online. But I think I like this one better, actually. This is a really nice little hardback. So that is the first book. Next, we have The Battle of the Linguist Mages, book by Scott O'Moore. Oh, that's really cool. Like pink foiling on a purple spine. I really like that. The type in that's a little small. How long is this? 437 pages. So that might be a little dense. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I think about the first chapter. And then last but not least, we have The Disasters by Randall Klein. I don't know if I mentioned this whenever I filmed that other clip, but for all three of these books, I did not look up any reviews on these. I know that A Separate Piece is like a classic novel that people love, but I don't know what the rating is exactly. I don't know what people generally think about it. I don't know what the ratings are for the other ones as well. I just wanted to go into these kind of blind and like make up my own mind on these. So I'm going to, for each of these, read a chapter, or if the chapters are short, I may read up to say 20 pages or so, just depending, to get kind of an idea of the writing style and the concept. Maybe sometimes you can tell from the first couple chapters, but just sort of the overall tone and feel. And I'm holding this one up because I guess I'm going to start with this one, The Battle of the Linguist Mages. So here we go. I'll be back in just a minute to give you my thoughts on it. All right, so I just finished reading 2 chapters of Battle of the Linguist Mages. The chapters seem to be only a few pages each, but I feel like 2 was enough to kind of give me an idea of like the style of this book and kind of conceptually like where it might be going. This is a sci-fi novel, and it reminds me of a combination of like Ready Player One and Warcross, and maybe Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits by David Wong. It follows a character named Isabel who is very deeply involved in this sort of VR game and VR community. The game is called Sparkle Dungeon, and it has, much like Futuristic Violence, it has like a little bit of humor whipped into it. It's told from like a first-person perspective who is kind of, there's like a lot of levity injected into it. So it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun novel. The first chapter, the main character, she's sort of describing this game that she likes to play. She's apparently very, very good at it and is really like spends so much time playing this game that it has been detrimental to like her personal relationships. And the second chapter, she's discussing a very specific session of play where she does some maneuver that causes like a rift in the game to open up. This seems like it's, you know, the sort of going to be the catalyst for whatever this book, like whatever the story arc is. I did enjoy this, and I do find it a little bit intriguing. I do tend to really favor books like this, but I have a feeling that this would actually take me a long time to get through. My other 2 choices here may be the same way, but that would be my only concern with this book, is that if I pick this one, it's going to take me a week and a half to read. And if you saw my July TBR, which if you didn't, I'll link it up in the cards, but it's going to be a full month. So there's a little trepidation there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I did enjoy it. So who knows? Maybe this will be the final selection. Now let's move on to a second choice here. So I think next I'm going to read a little bit of A Separate Piece. It looks like the first chapter in this book is about 10 or 11 pages. Who knows how dense the writing is? I'm very curious about this one. I don't read a ton of classics, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll love this and it'll get me inspired to read more of them. So let's just jump into it. I'll be back in just a moment after I read a little bit out of this one. Okay, so I just finished reading the first chapter of A Separate Piece. This was surprisingly interesting to me. This sort of reminded me of like a combination of The Secret History by Donna Tartt, but more with like a Dead Poet Society kind of flair to it. It's about a man who has returned to what I think is a prep school in New Hampshire. Whenever he was at the school, it says it was like 1942, so he's returning 15 years later. The first part of the chapter, he goes in and checks out the school and looks around, and then the second part, he goes to some area by a river with a big tree where he and his friends would swim and jump in and play out there in the water. He's basically just reminiscing about these experiences. I found it really interesting, though not a lot happened. This wasn't like a high action kind of story. It was just like mellow and enjoyable to read. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about it other than I think that this would read fairly quickly, I think, for it being outside of like a genre that I'm generally comfortable with. So this is definitely a candidate for my pick to add to my July TBR. We'll see though. I am on to my third book, which is The Little Disasters by Randall Klein. The only thing that I remember about this from selecting it 3 weeks ago is that I think it's kind of like a mystery novel, maybe like a slow burn mystery or thriller, I guess. Yeah, I have no recollection of what this is about, so guess I'm going to go on ahead and read the first chapter now. So let's see what this is about. Alrighty, so I just finished reading the first couple chapters of Little Disasters, which the chapters in here are not typical chapters. Instead of it just being chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, whatever, it's divided into sections of various characters, like their perspectives, with a date and time. It may bounce around in time a fair amount, which I read the first 2 chapters, by the way, which is it was about 10 pages, and I guess this may be spoilery. If you literally want to know nothing going into a book, you might want to skip this, but it was only 10 pages, so I don't feel like anything too drastic happened that would matter. It starts out following a man named Michael, who in the first chapter he is going to meet a woman who it sounds like it's his girlfriend, and the way he's describing their relationship, it sounds like it might be a little toxic, but he's going to meet her and they're going to be making some sort of life-changing decision. I don't know if it's him deciding to, or if he's going to propose to her or something like that, but it's hinting at some sort of big thing that they're meeting for. And then in the next chapter, it flashes back to about 1 year before, where he's married to a woman named Rebecca, a completely different woman, seems to be very happily married. She's extremely pregnant. They seem like a very happy couple. So kind of an interesting start to the book, like what happened in this 1 year period? What happened that has like driven this man to be seeing this other woman? So pretty intriguing. I thought this was supposed to be like a mystery or a thriller or something, although maybe it's just more of kind of like a dark contemporary novel. I'm not sure. I really enjoyed it, and now I don't know which book I am going to pick. So at this point, I think it's really between Little Disasters and A Separate Peace. I'm not sure which one to go with at this point. I think that this actually may need to turn into a vote. Yeah, I'm going to have you guys vote on these books, which one you think I should read. You don't have to have read them, but just like by the description of them, maybe which one you think sounds better, or you think I might like better, or one that you might like better that you think would just be a better book. Whichever one everyone votes for the most, I will pick to be the book to add to my July TBR. So if you think that I should read Little Disasters, let me have you put let's see here. Let's do a tornado emoji. Put a tornado emoji down in the comments down below. And then if you think that I should read A Separate Peace, let's put a peace sign emoji down in the comments below. And yeah, whichever one wins out, that will be the book that I add to my July TBR. All right, so I think that is going to be it for me today. That is the end of my little game/experiment for my July TBR. I really hope that you all enjoyed it. I'd be very curious to know what you thought about this, so please talk to me about it in the comments below. This was a lot of fun for me, and I would love to do more videos with these types of concepts. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will like it and possibly subscribe, and I will see you next time.